this budget cycle, our fiscal targets remain unchanged. The government has not adjusted its revenue, spending, or deficit forecasts. So we have not adjusted our revenue, our spending, or deficit forecasts. We remain confident in our projections of strong financial performance in the latter half of this fiscal year. This is not just wishful thinking. Revenues tend to increase during the peak winter months. And we also expect to see increased receipts from improved collection efforts, as well as the new business license fees. In the medium term, our projections also remain the same. The revenue enhancement measures we have rolled out are expected to keep us on track to arrive at our goal of revenue making up 25% of GDP in just a few years. I want for each of you what I want for my own sons. I want you to make the most of your talents. I want you to live lives of purpose. I want you to be surrounded by the love and affection and respect you deserve.
Most of you right now, you have a cage because you're following people who leading you down the wrong path. The cycle move when you move. But the cage stop you from going where you want to go. And not until I was to break out of that cage, I found myself.
We need young men in the classrooms and on top of the classrooms. If you hang around criminals and bad man them, like y'all call them, you will most likely going to end up in jail or 6 feet in the ground. You have to be a lifelong learner.
There's something next. Trust me when I tell you, there is something next for you.
We can't build a better country or a better future without your strength.
The Office of the Prime Minister Press Office is the primary liaison between the Fourth Estate and the Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet.
Every day, we are working to build a more inclusive economy and a stronger, safer country.
Hear all of the latest developments as the Davis administration carries out the broad mandate of progress and change. Our live weekly press briefings provide full access to current newsmakers on the most topical issues of the day. We facilitate prompt responses from cabinet ministers on the latest reports and get answers on the issues that matter to you.
Will any penalties be levied against the
OPM Press Now, keeping you in the know. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Office of the Prime Minister. I'm Acting Press Secretary Keishla Adderley. It's good to see you all. This morning, we're going to be addressing two current issues facing the country. The first has to do with the spike in unrest in Haiti, and specifically what measures the Bahamas has taken to protect its borders. We're happy to be joined by Defense Force Commodore Dr. Raymond King, who will give us the latest on what's happening there and how the Bahamas is launching its own protection. We're also joined by Mr. Leroy Major, who is chair of BAIC. I spoke to him about some very exciting new initiatives at BAIC that Bahamians can benefit from, expand business opportunities for Bahamians across the country, and get their sales going, which is obviously one of the priorities of this administration. So without any further ado, we welcome to the podium the Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and his team, and we will start things off.
Good morning, members of the media and the wider community and the listening audience. I am Senior Lieutenant Julian Smith. I'm currently the Acting Staff and Security Intelligence Officer of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. And my overview will deal with the current security situation in Haiti. From last weekend's mass prison breakouts, and indeed the other issues related to the attacks on the airport. These major incidences are indeed a threat to both the national security of Haiti and the bordering countries. From the attacks on the prison, intelligence reports can confirm that more than 4,000 inmates have now escaped, and certain gang members are among those. And of those, there are those whom were alleged to be concerned with the assassination of former President or deceased President Jovenel Moïse. The two largest penitentiaries or prisons were concerned in those attacks are located in Port-au-Prince and Croix de Boquete, and together they held in excess of 5,500 prisoners. At this point, some 3,500 prisoners remain at large. These breakouts quickly followed on the heels of the coordinated gang attacks against national institutions such as the International Airport, along with another airport in Cape Haitian. And the intent of the gangs were to destabilize or bring about the downfall of the Haitian government. The government had instituted a 3-day state of emergency and a curfew, and that has since ended in various departments, or we would call districts. Gangs control in excess of 80% of the capital of Port-au-Prince. Moving into the political area, Prime Minister Henry remains out of country, while members of the Haitian political diaspora and framework meet daily to come to some impasse on a way forward for national elections. The Haitian National Police are continuing with this challenge along with members of the other armed forces of Haiti, and with respect to casualties, their numbers have risen above a dozen or more. With the gangs, they're also experiencing casualties and deaths. Moving into the economical side of things, the health system, the economical, infrastructural, and social side of things, the health system is on the brink of collapse. Hospitals and medical services are really dealing with issues related to the violence. Schools remain closed. They're challenged with a limited economic activity due to shops and other access to other means. We have in Haiti a displaced population, and those numbers of displaced persons are getting into the range of about 400,000 people, including women and children. Drinking water is becoming non-accessible. Companies and agencies responsible for the distribution of water have since stopped those distribution services. The social aspect, along with the medical aspect, remain dire, and to characterize it in a framework of both percentages or numbers may not be doing it justice. However, since the beginning of the year, the staggering number of close to 1,200 persons have been killed, and about 720 odd members, or about 720 odd, along with gang members, have received injuries. We can characterize this in the lens of looking at what's taking place in Ukraine and the number of deaths in Haiti, and certainly more persons have been killed in Haiti during this conflict than have taken place in Ukraine. Regarding our regional partners in sharing of information with the Haitian National Police and other institutions, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and many Bahamian institutions are working closely with officials from the Haitian government diplomats, the Haitian Armed Forces, its national police, healthcare services, and non-government organizations. Regional and joint partnerships along with CARICOM task forces from many countries, including Jamaica, the US, Turks and Caicos Islands, and Cuba, are actively engaged in the sharing of information and intelligence as it relates to this issue. And the Defense Force is working closely with all of those partners in this regard. Thank you very much. Come on.
Commodore Raymond King, Commander of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. Pleasant good morning to all here present, the viewing audience. Good morning, Bahamas. I intend to provide an update on the steps taken to protect our borders against unanticipated mass migration. But please permit me to begin by expressing sorrow and regret to the Haitian people for the loss of lives and those injured to gang violence, particularly towards women, children, and the disabled. We have since established a blockade in the southeastern Bahamas to guard our borders effectively. But the reason for such considered maritime blockade are as follows: the mass displacement of Haitians from the capital and metropolitan areas. It's up to some 400,000 as we speak. The jailbreak of approximately 4,500 inmates, of which 3,500 remains at large, which includes persons accused of the Haitian president's assassination in 2021, dangerous criminals, and members of the various gangs. These persons present a national security concern to us here in the Bahamas, as well as our neighboring countries. The potential of these escapees to flee Haiti to either the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Cuba, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and to Puerto Rico, and the likelihood of their involvement in gang violence and homicides. Similarly, the probability of these escapees to become involved in transnational criminal activities, illicit weapon smuggling, illicit drug trafficking, as well as human trafficking and smuggling as funding sources for their activities. The dedicated resources to our blockade comprise 6 surface assets, 1 aircraft, with a total force strength of some 120 persons at this time. The concept of operations include overlapping patrols of the northern coast of Haiti, the Windward Passage, and the Old Bahama Channel. The use of our aerial asset for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance patrols in order to detect any early movement of any migrant activity towards the Bahamas. Collaborative vessel patrols in conjunction with the Turks and Caicos Islands, because we actually have Turks and Caicos coastal persons embedded in our vessels as shipwrights, as well as working closely with the United States Coast Guard, who also have vessels in that area. Intelligence, information, and sharing between our regional partners, ORBAT, Turks and Caicos, United States Coast Guard, and the Cuban Border Patrol. Migration statistical analysis for the periods January to February 2024 versus 2023, we would have experienced a significant decrease of some 650% of migrants actually being interdicted at this time. Or the absolute numbers is 140 versus 1,055. And even amongst those 140 Haitian nationals, more than 75% of those persons were either Haitian nationals who were intercepted trying to enter the United States of America, either from New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Bimini. I'll give an update on the multinational security support mission efforts and preparation on our behalf. Our mission focus is maritime security operations, naval training for the Haitian National Police Coast Guard personnel. The implications means that we'll have a minimal footprint in Haiti limited to the security intelligence team that will be stationed to our embassy, as well as a small HQ staffing membership as a part of the overall mission joint task force. So our numbers would be very, very limited in terms of any eventual deployment to Haiti, which means a large contingent of our members will be members on board our vessels deployed for 3 to 4 month periods, and whereby we'll conduct those northern coastal patrols of the Haitian coast. And if we're able to have Haitian ship riders embedded along their littoral, as opposed to being involved in the security operations in Haiti itself. The planning and preparation, we would have experienced a PKO, or Peacekeeping Operations Theoretical Training, that was provided early February by the Canadian Armed Forces, and we are now preparing for an integrated, a CARICOM Joint Task Force integrated training in Jamaica, the 21st of this month, lasting 4 weeks in Jamaica as part of the HQ component. As I conclude, prayers are offered for the political stability, the return of the institutions of governance, and the rule of law in Haiti. Likewise, for decisive military intervention and humanitarian actions to alleviate the pain and suffering being experienced and to achieve regional and international peace and security. And I end by asserting that your Royal Bahamas Defense Force is trained, equipped, conditioned, and positioned to either deter, detect, or defend against any incursion of mass migration to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Good morning. I'm open for questions.
Good morning, Chester Roberts, Nassau Guardian. Just wanted to ask, in terms of the proximity of our embassy to the bulk of the fighting in Port-au-Prince, could you just kind of paint that picture of how close they are to that?
I think they're relatively in a safe environment. I would say in a safe environment. We would have heard a news media report from Captain Godfrey Roll, retired, who's the charge, and they expressed no immediate concerns of being threatened. I think the area that they're residing is, I think, Patientville, which is relatively safe and guarded. But because of the deteriorating conditions, and with the airport being inaccessible, and what's being done now to prevent Prime Minister Henry from returning to Haiti and those gangs seeking to degrade the Haitian National Police capacity and seeking also to dissuade any intervening force of coming in. And that would naturally lead to the embassy personnel, the remaining personnel, the charge, and the remaining Defense Force intelligence stroke security persons being withdrawn as reported this week.
Our patrols that you mentioned in Haitian waters off the coast?
If we are able to have Haitian ship riders on board, then we'll go within their 12 nautical mile range. But generally, it's what we do now. We patrol off the northern coast, we cover the Windward Passage, we cover the whole Bahama Channel. And so our deployment would necessarily involve any unnecessary or undue risk or concerns that the public may have. And so with those ship riders on board, we'll only go into their territory as required. And even in those instances, we'll have to deploy an amphibious team that will be embedded. And it'll only be if we are engaged to respond appropriately.
There are no questions on Haiti. I just want to ask, there were some videos popped up about poachers recently. I just want, maybe you can give an update on how that's been looking.
Yeah, poaching dynamics has It's been interesting of late. I would have spoken to it at my last interview here, late last year. What we're experiencing now is that the motherships are now staying in Cuban territorial waters, and they're sending their small, lower vessels to cover that 20 nautical mile journey, which makes it extremely difficult to detect them unless you're actually on scene. And so we are working with the Cuban Border Patrol to assist us, and report and positively identify those Dominican vessels that are actually anchored and residing in their waters because they're connected to a crime here in the Bahamas. And so they've changed their strategy from what it used to be. Their motherships do not come on our banks per se anymore. And so we're adjusting, and hopefully once an MOU, a comprehensive maritime agreement, is completed with Haiti, with the Cubans, that will strengthen the teeth and provide some obligation on the Cubans to provide that intel and to seek to dissuade the Dominicans from using their territorial seas.
I know previously you said there's been a decrease in Haitian nationals fleeing Haiti, seeking refuge in the country. But with all that's unfolding now, are we expecting, and despite the blockade and other initiatives being put in place, are we expecting those numbers to, I guess, resurge?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the reason for the blockade, you have persons who would have been displaced. You have extreme levels of poverty. We have almost about 400,000 persons who would be seeking a better way of life. So there's a strong pull to come to the Bahamas or the United States. But we've had a number of vessels now moving towards Jamaica, moving through to the Dominican Republic, seeking to cross the Mona Passage to Puerto Rico. And so they've shifted their movements, but because of that large displacement, now it is being compounded with the escapees, those inmates, who would want to seek being, not being recaptured and incarcerated, who would more than likely seek to move from Haiti and to move elsewhere, so to fund their activities. And so we anticipate, particularly now given the levels of instability in Haiti, it's basically chaotic. Those gangs are trying to decapitate any semblance of governance. It's reported that they would not allow the Prime Minister to return, and they're seeking to locate the Chief of Police and other government officials with bad intent. And so those conditions would naturally force persons to want to flee Haiti. And so the threat is real, and we anticipate, and that's why we're positioned for the long haul.
News. At the onset, I know no specific timelines have been given yet, but how long are we anticipating our involvement in this exercise to go on?
Well, that's a question. I think the Minister of Foreign Affairs or the Director General in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they could answer those details. Well, I know the Kenyan police to be deployed. That timeline, I can't put an estimate on it, but they too are seeking to be resourced fully before they enter Haiti. And the international community has been slow and forthcoming with funding through United Nations to actually fund and ensure that the countries who would have committed to deploying troops and equipment to Haiti. So that would more than likely prolong the process, unfortunately. But you have to be equipped, resourced, and ready going into such an environment. So it's hard to put a timeline on it. But for us here, what we're doing now, what we have always done, is we'll seek to control our borders and not allow any of those vessels to come into the Bahamas. Okay. Thank you.
Other questions? Thank you. Thank you very much, Commodore King and his team, for that update. Now we're going to turn things to the latest developments at the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, BAIC. BAIC is certainly moving to a new level of assistance and partnership with small businesses here in the country. The chairman has spoken about everything from new distribution channels to reinvigorating Bahamian industries from another time. So we invite him now to the podium to share the latest.
Good morning, Leroy Major, Executive Chairman of the Bahamas Agricultural Industrial Corporation. And you may ask yourself, what is BAIC? What is BAIC all about? And what are the benefits of coming to BAIC? More than 40 years ago, the Bahamas Agricultural Industrial Corporation was born out of a vision of the then government to allow Bahamians to participate in its economy. BAIC is all about empowering Bahamians, to allow Bahamians to be the beneficiary of their economy. At BAIC, you could come to us and you could get a business plan, and we could take your business plan and help you turn it into a business. BAIC have a number of projects that are taking place, and today I want to let you know what some of the projects are and give you some updates. One of the greatest projects that BAIC will be involved in the next year and 2 years is the Golden Yoke Project. Many of you have heard about that project, and that project, once started, it will evolve into an industry where Bahamians will own that industry. Once the Golden Yoke is started, as a matter of fact, it will be in 2 phases. The first phase is, well, the Golden Yoke is all about the Bahamas being self-sufficient in egg production. We import millions of dollars of eggs into this country. And the Bahamas has signed an agreement that by 2025, we should reduce our importation of food production by 25%. We look at it and we realize that egg production in this country is one of the low-hanging fruits to help achieve that goal. And so, the Golden Yoke. The Golden Yoke is in 2 phases. Number 1, we have the construction of an animal feed mill. In order for us to increase our egg production, we need chickens. But in order for us to get the chickens, we need feed to feed the chickens. And so what we did is we, the government, invested in a state-of-the-art animal feed mill. We purchased it from a company called Care Industry in India, which is one of the leading manufacturers in animal feed mill in that region. It cost the government over $400,000, and that mill is on site in New Providence. Furthermore, we have also invested in a steel structure to house this animal feed mill. The present animal feed mill we have now is more than 50 years old, located on Soldier Road, and it was built just as an experimental feed mill to feed the animals that is located at GRAC. Here in the Bahamas, because our mandate is food security, we are encouraging farmers all over New Providence, all over the Bahamas, to increase their livestock. But the problem that we have is that there is not enough feed. The feed mill that we have now cannot produce enough feed to feed these animals. And so the government, in its wisdom, decided the first step we need to do is ensure that there's food for these animals. And so we have already purchased a building, and in short order, we'll be laying the foundation for the construction of a brand new state-of-the-art animal feed mill. The current mill that we have now could only produce 10 tons in an 8-hour shift. The new feed mill that we have purchased will produce 40 tons in an 8-hour shift, which means that we will have more feed to feed our livestock. On the other end of it, we're talking about the Golden Yoke. In order for us to really sustain this new initiative that the government is involved in, and like I said, the Golden Yoke, it started off as a project, but once completed, it will become an industry. And we in the Bahamas could truly brag that the only industry that will be totally owned, operated, and run by a Bahamian in the Bahamas is the Golden Yoke. The close one is the Number Boys, but they ain't get all of that. They ain't get the hotels yet. But the bottom line is the Golden Yoke will be run, owned by Bahamian 100%. And I think that is a great empowerment tool for our Bahamian people, because now that we could truly be beneficiaries of our economy. The Golden Yoke, in a short order, we will start a meeting with farmers, talk with them about what we need. We'll carry them through a number of trainings to ensure that they understand what is needed to take care of the chicks, as we, on the other end, will be prepared to buy all the eggs from the various chickens and then disperse them through a special purpose vehicle. BAIC is previously working to ensure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, that in short order, the Bahamas will be self-sufficient in egg production. So the Golden Yoke is a great opportunity for even you who are part of the press, even you who are part of the Defense Force. As long as you're Bahamian, I can guarantee you it will be very beneficial for you. Another rolled out BAIC did last year, we did a promotion called Your Golden Opportunity. It was to commemorate our golden year of Jubilee, where BAIC presently is one of the largest holder of land in this country. And so what we did is we went out and we said, listen, we want more Bahamians to get involved in the economic development of our country. One of the things, two things that we understand that we're lacking with Bahamians. Number one, they ain't got no land. And number two, they don't have no funding. Bahamians have bright ideas, big goals, but they don't have the foundation. BAIC have that. And so what we did with our golden opportunity, we encourage our land department to go out and get as much persons who have a business idea, bring them to BAIC. Let's put the business plan on paper. We lease you the land. And not only lease the land, we sign MOUs with SBDC, Bahamas Development Bank, Bank of the Bahamas, to ensure that fundings are available for your business. That is going well. And I could truly say, once this starts to mushroom, you'll see more wealthy Bahamians in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is the time now that Bahamians are to participate, get involved in the economy. And so the golden opportunity will be, it's a great opportunity for you to come. We have land in Andros, North and South Andros. We have land in Abaco. We have land in Eleuthera. And we have land in Grand Bahama. The land in Abaco and the land in Eleuthera is for farming, industry, or even touristic. And so you find a lot of Bahamians coming to BAIC, they want to get involved in an Airbnb business. Why? Because this year, almost 10 million people visit our country. And anyone, any Bahamian could be a part of that by getting an Airbnb. In short order, we're looking at getting some land in Exuma, which is a hotspot. We're looking at getting some land in Cat Island, which is another hotspot. And so we want to encourage Bahamians to come to BAIC and take advantage of the opportunity that is afforded. Another rollout we have is the National Crop Schedule, very anticipated by the farmers. What is this National Crop Schedule all about? Well, don't forget I told you that our mandate from the government standpoint is food security. We have some well-committed, dedicated farmers who are there farming in and out, and they want to ensure that we feed ourselves. But the problem that we have is that most of the farmers grow the same thing at the same time, which we'll call a glut, or which we'll cause wastage. And so what we are doing at BAIC is that on any given time, we will have approximately between 20 and 28 variety of fruits and vegetables grown by Bahamians in this country. The National Crop Schedule will allow a particular farmer to grow a particular crop on a particular island. And once we do that, we can ensure that this country will be well on its way. We have did some stats, and by 2025, we're supposed to save our country $250 million from food importation. Once the national crops roll out on a snail pace, we're looking at saving the country some $13 million. I think that's a good start. And so I want to encourage our farmers out there to get involved with the National Crop Schedule because it will be beneficial for you. Now, because I told you that a lot of the farmers, they grow the same thing at the same time that causes wastage and that causes a glut, BAIC on the other end encourages individuals who want to get into the processing of agriculture. In other words, you may not want to grow tomato, but you would like to make tomato jam, tomato jelly, or even hot sauce. Well, we have a department that will teach you how to do that. And so our food processing department is geared up to train anyone how to process that food from a produce to a product. And so at BAIC, I invite you again to come, that you could participate and be a part of that. On the flip end, just as the farmers, we do not want them to sell their produce, only to produce exchange, and then the produce exchange take it and market it. So it is with our food processors. We have signed an MOU with Marla Butler & Son, who will in turn be the sole distributor of our Bahamian products. That has been going very well. Marla Butler & Sons have already signed contracts with various food processors in this country. And the more they could make, the more they could sell. We really want to see more food, Bahamian-made food, on the shelves in this country. BAIC also have another project that is taking place, been taking place for a number of years now. It calls the Castorilla project, taking place in Acklins and Crooked Island. The Bahamas is known for its Castorilla bark. And those that are in Acklins and Crooked Island have been harvesting the bark for a number of years. Many of their houses are built from the harvesting of Castorilla bark. They send their children to school from the harvesting of Castorilla bark. But BAIC want to take it another step further. We have created an environment, a farm, where we'll be ensure that there is sustainability in the harvesting of Castorilla. Not only that, instead of you selling the raw bark, BAIC is now taking it another step further. The bark may cost you 27 cents a pound, but the oil could cost you $27 an ounce. And so what BAIC is doing is now we want to involve the people in Acklins and Crooked Island, not only extract the bark, not only get the bark, harvest the bark, but we also want you to extract the oil. And so we'll have a number of workshops there in short order, where we will teach the people in Acklins and Crooked Island not only to extract the oil, but also make their own perfume. It is sad to know that we have millions of tourists comes to our country. They go in John Bull, various stores downtown, and they cannot find a perfume that is made in the Bahamas. That is soon to change. So we'll have a number of workshops where we will teach the people in Acklins and Crooked Island how to make their own perfumes. And so, with that said, just a few days ago, BAIC signed a lease with another vendor. And to me, this is one of my, I think, best. The company name is Eden Recycling and Manufacturing. And they recycle plastic bottles, anything, plastic bags, whatever it is. But what I like about Eden is that they call it from end to end. As it is now, all over the world, you have people just recycling plastic. People pick it up, package it, and ship it off. It goes to a company that takes it, sterilize it, shred it, and send it to another company that manufacture a product. Here in the Bahamas, that is about to change. Eden Recycling and Manufacturing is a company that is end to end. As you drink your water, the plastic will be returned into the Edens. From every family island will be involved. It will be sterilized. It will be crushed, shred, and liquefied, and they will take that liquid and make products. So in the Bahamas, we will start making our own plastic garbage bins. Everything plastic we will start making, whether it's in kitchenware, whatever it is, they have the capability of making. This is a highlight for me, because now we could look at any garbage bins that we created here, any officeware that is made out of plastic, and we could truly say to the bottom, made in the Bahamas. Bahamian people are very resilient, great ideas. We could take that ideas and make that come alive once you come to BAIC. In closing, I want to tell you about another event that will take place April 21, 2024. It's called Taste and Tell. You may have heard about it, but Taste and Tell is an event for our food processors, where we showcase them. Let the Bahamians know exactly what we could do in this country. At Taste and Tell, we invite hoteliers, restaurant owners, retailers, and the general public to come and see what the Bahamian people could make. It will be held on April 21st at Fish Fry, Al-Waqi, that's the name, Al-Waqi. And so far, over 60 vendors have already subscribed to be a part of it. And so I want to invite you to come along. Come along and see what our Bahamians could do, because many of those items, many of those products are going to end up in the shelves in the Commonwealth, on the shelves in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And so with BAIC, like I said, it's a one-stop shop. You come with an idea in your head, we could put that idea on a piece of paper, and we could bring that to reality. We have the resources, and we are there to ensure that you, the Bahamian people, are beneficiary of your economy. Thank you.
You know, we were talking about, having eggs and all that sort of stuff, but, what are you all going to do in terms of visibility in the markets, and also to ensure, are consumers going to see a notable price difference with these eggs versus what's imported?
It's more than the price difference. It is the quality of the eggs we're talking about. Most of the eggs that come into this country are old eggs. 3 months, 6 months, 8 months. Once Golden Yolk has started, Bahamian will be providing Bahamians with fresh table eggs. The price will be below $4. We're working to keep it below $4, fresh table eggs every day. Once we start that, we will stop the importation of eggs in this country. Because if the truth be told, from statistics, we don't import eggs. Eggs are dumped in this country. And so that is going to stop when you, the Bahamian people, start your industry with the Golden Yolk.
You mentioned partnerships with the lenders. If you could talk about how, you said it's been going well, but how many people have taken advantage of it?
As it is now, we signed MOUs with we signed MOUs with SBDC, we signed MOUs with Bahamas Development Bank, and also Bank of the Bahamas. What we are doing now is we are bringing together and we're putting down now some rules and regulation in place that once our customers come to us, we automatically sign off on it no matter what it is, and they will automatically get the loan. So what we're doing right now presently is we're ensuring that, hey, you ready for this? This is a step that we need to do. Okay, now we're ready. Let's go to SBDC, who will guarantee the loan. Bahamas Development Bank or Bank of the Bahamas will ensure that they get the loan. So that's why we're working right now with all of the folks who come forward, whether it's in farming, whether it's in fishing, whether it's in industry, whatever it is, our job and responsibility is to ensure that you, as a Bahamian, be beneficiaries of this economy. And so all the MOUs are signed. Now we are interviewing our people who will go forward, ensure that they get these loans.
Any other questions? You want to add something?
No? Thank you.
I saw brainstorming happening, Chairman. So a lot of great ideas and opportunities. We hope members of the public, those who are business-minded, will take advantage of. Are there any other questions?
Yes,
Otherwise?
So I know government, Prime Minister Will Davis in particular asserted that government doesn't shy away from transparency and accountability, etc. But and in doing so, government disclosed that some $2 million was spent on an elevator here at the Ministry of Finance. How does the government justify that amid speculations, concerns, criticisms, particularly from the opposition, that government is abusing the public purse? Again, $2 million spent on an elevator here at the Ministry of Finance.
Well, I don't know the full particulars on that. I did see a report on that, but suffice it to say that any reallocation has not meant that any other area has suffered. It's the same scenario as was talked about in the past. So yes, there may have been some shifting of priorities, but it has not meant that any other area has suffered. Yes.
So the Petroleum Retailers Association would have requested a meeting with the Prime Minister in regards to an increase in the gas margin. They would have left letters, spoken to the media. Has any meeting occurred as yet? What's an update on that?
I know that they're in continued discussions. Talks are pending. The Prime Minister is determined or trying his best not to raise prices that will create a further burden for members of the public, while at the same time trying to create a happy medium with gas retailers. So the short answer is talks are ongoing. A meeting is pending, and they're still trying to come to a consensus that will be mutually beneficial.
Also, that 30-day notice given to the ankle monitoring company, if it's not expired yet, as yet it's about to be so, and has the issue been resolved? Is there any update on that?
Yes, that's correct. That 30 days has expired. I know that the Minister of National Security, who has oversight for that system, will address the status of that situation when he addresses the media budget in Parliament. He is scheduled to speak today. Yes.
Finally, of course, coming from the Ministry of Immigration, can we see the cancellation of these Bombardier flights into Haiti affect repatriation of migrants to the country?
There's been no policy decision to halt repatriation as such, but obviously the situation on the ground with disruption to airport services will put a monkey wrench in any intention to go into Haiti. So while there's no policy decision to make any changes, we'll have to wait and see, adjust based on the situation on the ground there.
PR misstep recently, I mean, given that a meeting with the Prime Minister and the union representatives from BPL, but two different perspectives emerged from that meeting. I mean, there seemed to be a disconnect there. What is the take on that?
Well, if I understand you correctly, Corvell, I can't speak to anything that came out of the meeting The minister, I think, spoke to the issue in the timing that she decided to. I guess you can't expect anyone else to take responsibility for what was said, you know, after that meeting. It was not a public meeting, it was a private meeting, which was meant to be shared with the unions and other interests in BPL. What came out of that meeting through other sources, I can't really account for. But obviously,
There were 2 statements. There was one from the Prime Minister, and then there was one from the union, and, you know, where that seemed to only fuel confusion. And then, I mean, I'm just kind of curious as to how did all of that come about, and what's the take from you
yeah,
guys?
again, I can't speak to what the union has said. The minister spoke on the matter yesterday as to where things stand. Obviously, there'll be more information as the situation progresses. There are portions of the discussions that won't be exposed, obviously, while negotiations may be in a sensitive phase, but all of the details of the deal will be revealed in due time.
The Davis administration has been given the green light to sue Gun Shops in America for the role that they play in the trafficking of illicit weapons, right? Now that government has the right to sue based on that Mexican lawsuit that it backed. What steps will we see government actually take? Because, you know, government has continually lamented the illicit trafficking of weapons in the country, the proliferation of violence in the country that's contributing to the crime wave. What steps will we see government take?
Well, it's maybe a little early to say that. Obviously, that's a very important issue for us. It's something the Prime Minister continues to have talks on. Obviously, the trafficking of weapons has ended in dire consequences for us. So I can't say anything fresh about that other than to say it's a very important discussion that we'll continue to pursue. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'd now like to welcome our small food vendor. You may want to get with the chairman over here soon, Javette Smith, who calls herself the Kitchen Queen 242. Let's welcome her.
Good morning, everyone. I am Javette Smith. I am the owner of the Kitchen Queen 242. My business started 2020, and you know, I always could have cooked, but it wasn't something I was in at the moment, but life changed, and that's just where I end up. We're located Carmichael Road, Golden Isles Court. We're the corner directly across from Golden Isles. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. We have a website for our business. It's thekitchenqueen242.com. We do everything through the website because it's easier on us. As a small business that is growing, we offer delivery and also pickup. So any questions about it? Pardon? Okay, the other offer is tacos, we have wings, quesadillas, burgers, pastas. We have a whole, and we plan, and we plan to extend our menu and our hours in the near future and sell dinners and a lot of other things. And, you know, put a few more drivers on the road for delivery because we try with delivery. Delivery is a big part of our business. So, go ahead.
There are a lot of food options or places to eat out there. So what is it that makes the Kitchen Queen stand out?
Where we stand out is, I mean, what we do sell, we sell a lot of things, but basically a lot of people sell, but our food tastes, our food tastes a lot better. And I wouldn't say better, but our food, we get good reviews on our food. And we offer delivery. Even though it's hard doing a delivery in a small business, I try to get it to everyone because we do delivery. It gives us, you know, a bigger standpoint because a lot of people is be in office all day. They want food. People stuck this place, that place. Some people don't have no car. They want food. So that does help us a lot. So that's our main thing. What we're trying to push further is delivery.
So what items? All the buzz there. What's everyone raving about?
Our buzz is our birria tacos. We've been at it for a while, and the people are going crazy for it. But our birria tacos are very, very, that's our number one. We don't sell it daily. We switch up our menu. We have deals of the day every day. We have different things on deal. We have different items available different days because, you know, it's a long menu to try to do everything every day. But it's just certain items on the menu we do have every day, available every day.
Troy Sampson, Bahamas Agriculture and Industrial Corporation News. Can your patrons, when they go online to order, can they also pay and get the delivery and everything sorted out all online?
Okay, we had a merchant's account with BOB where we was doing payments online, but we was experiencing a lot of people using other people's cards and that do a lot of fraud would cause us to lose on our end. So we would have stopped doing it like that. Now we are looking forward to getting a card machine now so that we could accept card payment. But for the merchant's account, we suffered a loss using the merchant's account, so we had stopped doing our online payments, only cash at the moment. For any further information, you can go to thekitchenqueen242.com or call us at 812-9356. Thank you.
So we'll find out in a second if Javette is the kitchen queen, because the proof of the pudding is in the eating, right? All right, so if there are no further questions, thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and let's eat.